I think 5 or 6 years back. This was the first topic. Like any other person, I also went on YouTube and just like anyone else, I searched for how to trade, and this was the first ever topic I came across: Fibonacci retracement. I learned the concept and I started using it, and surprisingly, I became a profitable trader at that point itself in the beginning. Why? Because what you will understand in Fibonacci retracement is indirectly you are trading the market structure. At that point, I did not realize, of course, कि I'm trading the market structure. But आप अगर इसका base objective देखो, what we are doing in a Fibonacci retracement is we are capturing swings and we are finding that precise entry. So what happens is, indirectly, we start trading the market structure itself. Now, since that was happening, that is why I ended up becoming a profitable trader in equity. उस time पे derivatives नहीं करता. All right. Now let me give you a brief example, a brief background about Fibonacci itself. So there was a mathematician ages ago, and his name was Leonardo Fibonacci. He was also, I believe, a sheep herder. And what he did was he came across a series of numbers. He came across a number series which went like 0, 1, 1, 2, 5, 8, 13, so on and so forth. So this goes up till infinity. So how is this calculated is very simple. The next number is always the sum of the previous two numbers. So 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, 1 plus 2 is 3, so on and so forth. So what will be my next number over here? 18, 8 plus 13, it will be 21, so on and so forth, up till infinity. Now, what was so important about this Fibonacci series? This number or this series is known as a Fibonacci series. And what was very important about this was that anything that existed in nature used to fall under the Fibonacci series. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? So let's say that there is a flower. Alright, so the number of petals on the flower, an untampered flower, will always be 5, 8, 3, 13, 2, etc. It will never be 7, it will never be 6. Alright, so what was observed was anything that exists in the nature, by default, usually is within the Fibonacci series itself. So be it your breathing cycle of your turtles, be it the, as I said, petals of the flowers, the seeds on the sunflower, you can go on and on and on. You will see it will always and always fall under this series of number, which was astonishing. Now what happened was this series was further developed, and through this series they came out with a few ratios. The ratios were, I'll show you the ratios over here: 23.6, 38.2, 50% and 61.8%. So 23.6, 38.2 and 61.8. Now I'm not talking about the 50% for now. So this was the actual default ratio that was developed back then. How did they develop these ratios? Pretty simple. One ratio was developed by dividing the one number with its previous number. तो आप क्या करते हो? You leave the first 30 or 40 numbers of the series, and after that what will happen is, if you divide a given number by its previous number, you will see that you will find a constant ratio across the entire series through infinity, except for the first 30 or 40 numbers. Similarly, if you pick out a number and you divide it from a alternative number, not the immediate previous number, the alternate previous number, you will see that you will find a given ratio for the entire series through infinity, except for the first 30 or 40 numbers. So that is how these ratios became important, and these were known as the golden ratios of Fibonacci. And this also had an importance in nature. So how? If you compare your upper body torso with your lower body, you will see that the ratio of your upper body to your lower body will fall within these golden ratios of Fibonacci. So what happened was, There came a trader from the US. He said that if these ratios are so important and this mathematical equation and ratios are so important, why not apply it to the stock markets? Because stock markets are also a part of the nature. Though it is artificial, but it is still part of the nature. And stock markets, the buying and selling is ultimately controlled by the human emotion that indirectly adds to your nature. What was observed that these ratios were wonderfully working over there. However, there came an additional ratio which was the 50% mark. So in your stock markets, the golden ratios are four ratios, that is your 23.6%, your 38.2%, your 50% and 61.8%. But if you look at the actual original concept, there are only three ratios, which are these three. 50% is only for your stock market perspective. Now, why are we talking about these ratios in terms of stock markets? So let me explain. अब ये चीज बड़ा ध्यान से सुनना, ये आपको बहुत कॉन्सेप्ट्स क्लियर करेगा. I'll just draw something over here. I'm drawing a flight of stairs like this. Okay, this is your flight of stairs, and you are standing at the top. What you do is you throw a ball in such a manner that it bounces off from each step. This is what you're doing. Now, looking at this picture, does this ring a bell in your mind? कुछ similar नहीं लग रहा stock markets के related? What does this look like?
Seems like a lower high low.
Wonderful. This entire setup looks like what? A lower high lower low structure. Agreed? Yes or no? So what we were doing is, in a lower high lower low structure, what is the strategy that we deploy? बताओ.
Either sell
on rise
or buy puts.
Buy sell and rise.
Yes, sell and rise, obviously.
Sell on rise. So we sell on rise. So for that, what did we discuss? In Male, we need to find that exact top. So this comes through Fibnachi. What you need to do is, let's understand from a physics point of view. If a ball is dropped, so it will bounce up to a certain extent, एक certain height तक bounce करेगा, right? And that is what we need to calculate. So it is what? A ratio of this entire fall that we see over here. This upward bounce that we see in the ball is what? Just a ratio of this fall that we see over here. So what do? We calculate the height of this fall. Now what will happen? The bounce would be either 23.6% or 38.2% or 50% or 61.8% of this entire fall. Are you all getting this logic? समझ आ रहा है? Think of it, don't think of it this as a prize or something. Just think of this as a ball bouncing off from each step. So to calculate that bounce, what do I have to calculate? I have to calculate the fall. If I want to calculate that bounce, how much bounce will be there in the ball? So what we do is, we will plot our tool from the swing high till the swing low. We will plot our tool ulta, from a swing high to a swing low. So what will happen? We have calculated this fall. Now what will happen is, the bounce will come up till 23.6 or 38.2 or 50% or 61.8%. Are you getting this logic? Yes or no? Wonderful. Now let me ask you one more question only. Now let's say I want to calculate this top. अब मेरे को यहाँ पे market short करनी है. I want to calculate this top. So tell me, how much fall should I calculate? Should I calculate this fall? Let me just mark it in another color. Should I calculate this entire fall A, or should I calculate this fall B? Now again, think of it as a ball point of view. आप एक ball bounce कर रहे हो, उसकी energy loss होती जा रही है.
The most recent fall.
Perfect. The most recent fall. So you don't have to calculate the entire fall from the beginning. You just have to calculate the most recent fall to calculate that bounce in the market. Are you all getting this point? Yes or no?
In terms of price or in terms of market, the last or the previous low or swing high, right?
Swing high, recent swing high to recent swing low, including the wick. Including the wick. Yeah. Similarly, in an existing uptrend, it is the same thing, same logic. Let's say again there's a flight of stairs, and I'm throwing the ball in such a manner that it is bouncing off from each step. Now, what does the structure look like?
Higher high.
Higher high, higher low structure. What strategy do we follow? By the dip. I need to now calculate this dip, right? So tell me one thing, to calculate this dip, do I calculate this fall or do I calculate this upside? Perfect. You have to calculate the upside. So आप देखोगे, you have to calculate this upside, and the dip will be a ratio of this upside movement. So what you need to do is you have to plot your tool from the swing low till the swing high, including the wick. And you will see that the dip will be either a ratio of 23.6, 38.2, 50% or 61.8%, whatever the case may be, of that given upside move. अब हिमालय पता कैसे चलेगा इसमें से कौन सा रेशियो? See, you don't have to predetermine which ratio will the market bounce from. All you need to do is, as soon as the market comes at 23.6 level, you need to observe the price action. If yes, it is showing you some sort of a bullish sentiment, you take the trade. If not, let it fall further. Comes up till 38.2, again, be alert. If there's a price action, take the trade. If not, let it fall further, 50%, and finally 61.8%. Now tell me one thing. I'm asking you a very logical question. Again, let's talk from a ball point of view. Okay? Let's say that this is a building. Standing at the top, works on all time frames. Time frame का tension मत लो. It works on all time frames. My all the concepts work on all time frames. अगर कुछ specifically exclude होता है, I'll tell you. You have thrown the ball from here. It bounces. 23.6% breach हो गया, 38.2% breach हो गया, 51.8% breach हो गया. Now what is happening is 61.8% भी breach हो गया. It has breached the 61.8% also. So technically, don't you think something is odd? If you have a ball right now next to you, just drop it and see what is happening. Do you think that it will come back to the same height? Physics पढ़ा है थोड़ा बहुत स्कूल में. Do you think it will come back to the same height? No. It will come back to a certain height. After it breaches that certain height, probably something is wrong. Yes, probably something is wrong. So that is what happens. So in the markets, that is why I was telling you in the market structure session that from now on, we will rather consider 61.8% as our SL. If we are shorting the market over here at 50%, 61.8% will be my SL. If we are shorting at 23.6% ratio, 61.8% will be my SL, not my previous swing high. If we are shorting at 61.8, any closing above it will be my SL. समझ आ रहा है? If it breaches the 61.8%, now what is the probability in the market? Will it immediately become a higher high, higher low structure now? क्या लगता है? क्या लगता है? Structure will reverse, but it will not reverse immediately into a higher high. It may. It can change into two directions. Either it can become into a sideways market, or it can change into a higher high, higher low. Don't forget this, market structures are of three types. What we are trying to consider is, in a downtrend, 61.8% is my last level of defense, and in an uptrend also, 61.8% is my last level of defense. Let me show you examples. Very simple and easy to use tool, provided you are plotting it correctly. चलो यहाँ पे एक random bull market है, all right? This is a clear higher high, higher low structure. Let's try to observe if things are correct or not. What we do, I want to calculate. Market has gone on the upside. We have taken our exit. Markets are now coming down. I know that I want to take an entry. It's a higher low structure. I want to take an entry. What will I do? I need to calculate the upside. So from my swing low, this is the most low point over here, and this is the highest point over here. I will just plot my tool. This is the highest point. This is the lowest point. Where has the market taken support? Exactly from my 50%. Exactly from my 50% Fibnachi retracement level. अब मैं आपको एक और बात बताता हूँ, which will be very mind blowing. क्या आपका ये एक RSI support level भी है? This is your RSI support level also. So doesn't this become a very precise entry for you? Now you know the structure, that it is a higher high, higher low structure. Now you know that RSI is taking support, and through Fibonacci you are finding that exact entry also. What else do you need?
3 confirmations. That is like the best setup you can find.
And where will your SL be? Just below the 61.8% on closing basis. Okay, we will keep closing basis. And very rare situations, बहुत ही rare situations में 78.6% works. Sometimes markets in a very rare situation will come up to 78.6% and then bounce from there. Now the thing over here, what I'm trying to overall say is, वो ignore करो, 61.8% ही as a final line of defense पकड़ो. But speaking of the entry, if you want to take a very precise entry, what you need to do is, when all the three add up, firstly, if your market structure is bullish, that means it's a higher high, higher low structure. That's the first thing you need to check. Secondly, if you find a Fibonacci level, perfect. If it's at 38.2, it's okay. But अगर वहाँ पे RSI का support नहीं आ रहा है, then what to do? Then you can take a trade, but the risk will be a little higher. So personally, what I will do is, or I will suggest is, when all the three align, where RSI is also taking support, Fibonacci is also taking support, and you know the market structure, only then take a trade. Chalo, let's take the next swing also. Let's try to calculate the next swing if it's working or not. Again, now this is my next latest swing. What I will do is, from my swing low till my swing high, this is my swing high. I'm just extending on the side. What is happening? Market came exactly tested 38.2%, and from there again it gave a rally on the upside. But this time around it wasn't exactly around my RSI support. So what did I say? Risk is a little higher. You can still take a trade. Totally up to you. Chalo. Next swing again. Now what is the next swing? From my swing low till my swing high. From my swing low till my swing high, including the wick. I'm saying including the wicks. What is happening? Market exactly halted at my 50%. वहाँ पे आप price action देख लो, hammer followed by a confirmation. I can take a trade. Yes, I can. Markets went up. Again after that, from my swing low till my swing high. So you need to just keep doing this. Swing low till my swing high. Price action confirmation will get take a trade. Now over here at the top, you see multiple dojis near my swing high. Time for exit. Time for exit over here. Now you will wait. You will wait. Why? Momentum loss. Momentum loss. Around your previous swing high, there is momentum loss. Then you will not take that additional risk of continuing your trade further. After that, what has happened? Chalo dekhte. Eventually, markets made a top. And what did it do after that? It came into a lower high, lower low structure. So again, dekhte if it's working or not. So now what do I have to calculate in the lower high, lower low structure? The fall. From my swing high till my swing low. So this is my swing low, this is my swing high. Markets halted anywhere around my 61.8%, but not a precise entry over here. यहाँ पे एक candle, it breaks the 61.8%. So we can avoid it. We can avoid taking a trade off over here. As simple as that. Let me show you more examples.
But can you show these on our intraday chart, like combination of RSI and
I'll
Fibnachi?
come to intraday also. Don't worry.
Okay, okay.
पहले मेरे को ये थोड़ा सा bigger time frame पे it becomes more clear. Then we come to smaller time.
भैया
Again, it needs to be a trending market. Don't forget, it needs to be a trending market. Consolidating market में नहीं work करेगा. If you are consolidating market, this concept won't work. Why? It's a consolidating market, illogical movements.
Bhaiya, just one question regarding, since you trade market structure, even when you're taking swing trades, do you consider taking most of your trades using market structure, or you take more of reversal trades like the ones that you taught yesterday when you were teaching?
It depends. I take both types. It's not that I'm more skewed towards reversals or more skewed. I'm more थोड़ा सा little towards market structure, but sometimes I also take reversal trades. Like near 18,000 levels, I had told go short. यहाँ पे नहीं, not this time around. Previously, I had told to go short. This time around, I had different expectations. I expected that the market to form that higher low, but it did not. All right. So बैंक निफ्टी पे आते हैं. बैंक निफ्टी का लास्ट टाइम एग्जांपल डिस्कस कर रहे थे. We'll come back to the same example, and you'll be surprised how precisely a Fibnachi is working. If you all have watched that video already, तो आप लोग ने देखा होगा. Yeah. In April last year.
हाँ, ये वाला वीडियो आपने इसमें बताया भी था कि लॉन्ग आने का टाइम आ गया बैंक निफ्टी में.
So see, let's talk about the downside first. Before talking about the reversal, let's talk about the downside. Market is in a lower high, lower low structure. Let's just delete this trend line also. This was the example. Market is in a lower high, lower low structure. I need to find those precise tops. एक तो मैंने आपको ट्रेंड लाइन लास्ट टाइम बता दिया था. This is what time frame? To come to the 1 hour time frame. Again, as I said, structure on the day chart is a little not as sound as compared to the lower time frames. Now over here we had marked our highs and lows. We had concluded that overall the market was in a downtrend. So what did I want? What do I want? I need to find those exact tops to go short. Okay. Now over here, what do I observe? Market gave a down rally. What do I do? From my swing high till my swing low. This is my swing low. From my swing high till my swing low, I will plot my tool to calculate that upside. To calculate the bounce. Bounce came up to 50%. यहाँ पे देखते हैं RSI का resistance level है somewhere around my RSI resistance level. Can I go short? Yes, I can go short. Now the next short, what do you need to do? Again, from my swing high till my swing low. Now this is my swing low. Again, what is happening? Markets are exactly halting at my 50%. Now over here, what had happened was market consolidated for a few candles before it went on the short side again. But the interesting part again, RSI is again taking resistance around that level. Clear? Again, markets came down. Again, what you need to do is from that swing high till your swing low, you plot your level. Now this time around, market went up till the 78.6%. So as I told you, it is a rare case, does not happen very often. So this happened over here, rare case, came down, formed that double top again market came into a bearish stance. So over here there was, in other terms you could say, there was a attempt to reverse the market structure. But what did the market instead do? It formed that double top again and came down. Now after this breakdown again, what is happening? From your swing high till your swing low, from your swing high till your swing low, you plot your Fibonacci, exactly halted at the 61.8%, exactly RSI is taking resistance, exactly you formed that short in the market. Again, you calculate the downside, you calculate the upside, so on and so forth. It's very simple. From your swing high till your swing low. Now this is your swing low over here. So from your swing high till your swing low, you plot the level. Where did the markets halt? Exactly at the 61.8 level. RSI exactly taking the resistance. Again, you found that precise top to go short. Finally, over here, there was a divergence as we discussed last time. But again, ये top भी Fibnachi में शायद बन रहा है. Let's see that final top that it made. So again over here, exactly halted at that 61.8%, corrected from there. But now we had already discussed last time that there was a divergence over here. So now the probability of the market forming a lower low is very low. अभी market ज़्यादातर एक higher low बनाएगा, and that is what happened over here. So we took our exits around our major levels also. This is your day chart support level. Took our exits from here. What now you could go is long hammer followed by a confirmation. Market structure completely reversed. Point clear to all. समझ आ रहा है हम क्या कर रहे हैं आपको? Using Fibonacci. Are you all understanding what are we calculating? How are we calculating that exact top? We calculated this fall over here to calculate this bounce. Again, we could have gone short. But यहाँ पे risk ज़्यादा था. In the last leg over here, the risk was high. Why? Because we had observed a divergence just before that. If there wasn't a divergence, market would have formed that lower low. Again, the story would have continued till the time एक major support level आता chart पे. All right. We will come to the lower time frames also. But before that, I just want to quickly cover one more point with you all, which is coming back to Dow principle number 2. हम लोग क्या ट्रेड कर रहे हैं? In this lower high, lower low, what trend are we trading? We learned three trends: primary, secondary, and minor. तो हम कौन सा ट्रेंड ट्रेड कर रहे हैं? Primary. And what did I teach you all? कि it is advisable not to trade the secondary trend. Yes, I also taught you that it is advisable not to trade the secondary trend. So let's take one example over here. This example, from a swing high to the swing low. This is the swing high, this is the swing low, including the wicks. I'm extending on the right side. So this was our point to go short. But on the contrary, aren't we wasting these many points on the upside? About 5%, 6% on the upside. So what about this Male? What do we do at this case? So एक logic समझो. Now this is your secondary trend. This upside move is your secondary trend, or the bounce is your secondary trend. Now I'll tell you one very simple thing. There are two platforms. Okay? One is around your first floor, and the other platform is around your 10th floor. 10th floor. Again the same thing. You're standing over here with the ball. You throw the ball from here, and again you throw the ball from here. So there will be a bounce. There will be a bounce. Now tell me logically, which one will have a bigger bounce? Is it the ball thrown from the first floor or ball thrown from the 10th floor? Which will have a bigger bounce? The 10th. Okay? Very logical. The 10th floor will have a bigger bounce. So what I am trying to say is, you can take the risk of playing the secondary trend. But when the fall is big, or in the contrary, when the upside is big, ये बात समझो. If that movement is big, only then you can take the risk of trading the secondary trend. In this case, I will avoid. But in this case, what is happening? The fall itself is big, so the bounce will also be big. So if you want to take that sort of a risk, then you can play that bounce in the market on the upside, which is also known as a secondary trend. So मैं याद है मैंने आप लोग को डाउ थ्योरी में बताया था I sometimes trade the secondary trend, and this is where I trade the secondary trend. Look at the calculation points on the downside. कितने downside मिला हमें market में? Number of points. So from my swing high till my swing low, this is approximately 2700 points. So उसके against, if I go long over here, it's not necessary that I hold my trade till 61.8. I need to also remember that I'm trading the secondary trend. So I might exit at 23.6 or I might exit at 38.2 to be on the safer side of it. ये यहाँ पे जैसे हमें दिख रहा है any closing below the low of the previous candle. यहाँ पे एक closing मिल रही है below the low of the previous candle around my 50%. I can exit my long position over there and probably build a short. Now Himalaya we could have created a short also here as per our confirmation. A perfect rejection candle followed by a confirmation, market still went up. So I told you market could still go up, but did our SL trigger? No. उसके बाद एक correction आ गई. And over here we did not get the RSI resistance also. Over here we are getting the RSI confirmation also. So as I said, थोड़ा सा risk होता है. So this is the extra additional risk. But eventually what happened was, it did not trigger our SL. Our SLs were intact, and we got the points on the downside. Is this entire thing getting clear to all? What is the entire setup? समझ आ रहा है अब क्या कर रहे हैं हम? Using RSI, using Fibnachi, and using market structure overall. When are we trading secondary trends? When are we taking the risk to trade secondary trends? When are we taking the risk to not trade secondary trends, etc., etc.? Mainly, we'll always trade primary trends. But as I said, in rare situations, when the fall is big or when the upside is big, then you can trade the secondary trend.
Bhaiya, can you just repeat how we will take the entry in the secondary trend again?
देखो सिंपल है, फॉल बढ़ी है, यहाँ पे मेजर सपोर्ट लेवल है, दोजी फॉलोड बाय कंफर्मेशन, आई कैन गो लॉन्ग फॉर अ फ्यू पॉइंट्स.
Okay.
But I will be very quick on my exit. I won't hold till my bigger targets, the gap. I will exit somewhere in between because I know overall primary trend is in the downward direction. Same is the case for the uptrend. फिर उसके बाद एक higher low structure बनना start हुआ. Very simple. From my swing low till my swing high, market halted exactly at 38.2, and from there market went on the upside. Same after this gap, swing low, swing high, market halted exactly at my 38.2 levels. From there markets went long. RSI में अब थोड़े से, as I said, you have to keep adjusting it a little with time. Again, this downfall is there. Overall uptrend market, you will see probably would be around the Fibnachi level. So Fibnachi works very precisely if you know how to use it. So around my 38.2 level, RSI taking support exactly at that level, go long. ये आपको एक gap मिला on the upside, you could go long. Of course, day chart भी देखेंगे एक बार. So overall, you could have gone long over there.
ये सेल का क्या है?
यहाँ पे I remember यहाँ पे देवांग ने भी बोला था लॉन्ग करो, मतलब I remember this एक्सपायरी थी, मतलब वो बोल रहे थे कि ये मतलब क्या सोच रहा है देवांग की, क्या सोच के लॉन्ग बोल रहा है. तो now I get it कि लॉन्ग क्यों बोला था शायद.
So he has a different setup. He doesn't use this setup, but कुछ और देखिए उसको बोला होगा, but it just adds up. You can see.
I thought वो आपका सेटअप भी यूज करते हैं.
Yeah, but he doesn't use my setup. SL का होगा, SL 61.8 के नीचे होगा, समीर. As I said, 61.8 is the last line of defense. Previously हम लोग SL क्या रख रहे थे यहाँ पे. अब our SL has also become a little conservative. Our SLs have also targets, as I told you, targets are nothing but your manual support and resistance levels. या pivot के हिसाब से ले लो.
वाले आप आज का एग्जांपल ले सकते एक बार निफ्टी में 15 मिनट चार्ट. 15 मिनट में भी आरएसआई एक्चुअली काफी अच्छा काम करता है. लाइक मैं बैक टेस्ट कर रहा था ना बैंक निफ्टी, सो इट वर्क्स प्रीटी वेल ऑन 15 मिनट आल्सो. बट हाँ वही बात है जो आपने बताया था कि एंट्री थोड़ी लेट मिलती है निफ्टी 15 मिनट चार्ट.
One thing I'll tell you, if going forward, see this is my last.
ये फ्लिप एक्सटेंशन है या रिट्रेसमेंट है जो आप यूज कर रहे हैं?
Retracement. This is not an extension tool. This is a retracement tool. Fibnachi retracement. It is just below the trend line drop down. Fibnachi retracement. Extension is used for targets, but वो थोड़ा सा I'm working on some strategies around it. Okay, take some time.
जैसे कल के डे का हाई एंड आज के डे का लो जो सुबह 9:30 पे बना था.
Yeah.
और निफ्टी के केस में बैंक निफ्टी का मैंने चेक नहीं करा.
एक से रुक जाओ. See, one thing I'll just tell you, since this is my last session in this batch, I'm just covering an additional point, whatever is coming to my mind. तो एक चीज याद रखना है, if you're getting into derivatives and if you're getting into index, initially avoid trading bank nifty. ठीक है? Bank nifty is very violent. बैंक निफ्टी का स्ट्रक्चर समझने में, बैंक निफ्टी की वॉलेटिलिटी को अडेप्ट करने में बहुत टाइम लगता है. I will tell you, after a 2-year proper experience with my setup, it took me an additional about 6 to 8 months to master Bank Nifty. So if you want, you do paper trades. If you want, you take one lot maximum bus. So anything that is up to your risk appetite. But don't take big trades on Bank Nifty. थोड़ा सा उसके साथ पहले adapt करना पड़ेगा. Nifty on the other hand is fairly easy. Though it might seem like Bank Nifty में सिर्फ 5 या 6 स्टॉक आते हैं, but that isn't the case. Bank Nifty is much more volatile. 15 मिनट छोड़ो, मैं 5 मिनट पे सिखाता हूँ. I'll use my 5 minute time frame. Again,
हाँ 5 मिनट पे भी देख रहा था, बट वो 5 मिनट से अगेन वही काफी सारे मतलब उस पे ले रहा है. अब जैसे आप कल का हाई ले लो और आज का लो ले लो, वहां से अगर फिब लेवल बनाते हैं तो अराउंड 12 बजे के आसपास मार्केट ने रिजेक्शन लिया.
again, अभी ना न्यू डे न्यू मार्केट स्ट्रक्चर, तो हम न्यू डे के हिसाब से ही देखेंगे. तो यहाँ पे तो कुछ बनना नहीं आज. Was a very choppy market. Nothing
अच्छा
interesting.
प्रीवियस डे का हाई नहीं ले सकते फॉर रेफरेंस, लाइक प्रीवियस डे के हाई से आज के डे का लो.
Avoid it. New day, as I said, new day, new market structure. RSI ले लो, बाकी सब ले लो, but not this. So over here you can see from my swing low till my swing high, I plotted. अगर आपने यहाँ पे कोई bottom find किया है, 33,900 levels, came up, came down, exactly retested my 50% level. Inside candle breakout, could have gone long. उसके बाद I think थोड़ा choppy बन गया market आज.
May just one doubt, इधर में the higher high hasn't been formed, right? So how are you going with the?
So that is what I said. अगर आप ये उसके bottom पकड़ के चल रहे हो कि RSI is re-entered, came down, and then it went up that way. There's, as I said, lately markets have become very choppy. आप अगर थोड़े महीने पहले जाओगे, you'll see the exact same thing working very precisely. यहाँ पे market structure बना नहीं है अभी तक. The first entry that you are taking, but this is a high risk entry. उसके बाद कुछ बना ही नहीं है, choppy हो गया market. Again, this is an entire sideways day. Nothing interesting over here. यहाँ पे कुछ हो सकता है. तो यहाँ पे you can see market was in a higher low structure. ठीक है. Let's just assume from this is the first higher low till my swing low till my swing high. Market exactly halted at my 38.2 levels. Multiple doji confirmation, RSI taking support, could have gone long. After that, एक sort of a divergence बन चुका है यहाँ पे. RSI is taking resistance, but market has formed a higher high, indicating what? The strength of the buyers is not there. अगर यहाँ पे market को upside rally continue करनी होती, if the market wanted to continue that upside rally, the RSI should have also been on the higher end, but that did not happen. And it again took resistance over here, so indicating now it's my time to exit. Probably there could be a potential that the markets could reverse 35,000, 36,000, whatever round number levels है. You could have again an additional point to go short. Shooting star followed by confirmation. First level entry, reversal entry, high risk OTA. As I told you, if you don't want to take that sort of an entry, then you can wait. Wait for what? For the market to form that lower high. So this is a lower high. From your swing high till your swing low. What is your swing low? This is a swing low. This is a swing high. Fibnachi exactly taking a resistance at 61.8. RSI exactly taking a resistance around the level I've marked over here. From there, markets have corrected. Again, markets came down. एक यहाँ पे hammer type formation बना दिया. Swing high to swing low. Again, market exactly took resistance anywhere around 61.8%. RSI exactly taking resistance around the level marked. From there, the markets have corrected. So see, मैं तो ये randomly मेरे को date भी नहीं पता. 5th May. You can see how precisely this is working. RSI taking resistance, Fibnachi levels taking resistance. You know where to exactly go short. You know where to exactly go. As simple as that. Just master this setup. Of course, violent markets में थोड़ा सा choppiness आ जाती है. Where is inside candle? कौन से उसमें where is inside candle? Inside candle मैंने कहा ये inside candle है आपको. इसे inside candle.